These are my confessions. So I have random thoughts and beliefs and Hannah-isms, and I like sharing them with you. I think I used to share my randomness a lot more back in the day, BC, like old videos. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling blue, if you want a new way to say I love you. Ooh, that rhymes. Tips. So, to be honest with you guys, I must confess I have peed in a sink. Another fear of mine, and this is one I've had for quite a while now, is getting sniped in my back or the back of my head. And I like it because, you know, people are odd and unique and think funny things. I feel like it makes me feel like someone relates. It makes us humans a little more connected because maybe you've thought something and then I say it and you're like, whoa, I've never heard it outside of my head before. Yeah. So in spirit of that, I thought I would share some things I do or think that I've never really talked about. Confessions. Just when I thought I said all that I could say, my chick on the side says she got one on the way. When I know or assume that a hair tool automatically shuts off on its own, I just leave it on and go about life. I've been doing this for years, and really, what hair tools nowadays do not shut off on their own? My curling iron, my flat iron, I just kind of make sure it's not too close to anything, and I leave. This one makes me sad to admit, but when I feel like someone is driving slow and they're going in all the same directions as me, it makes me mad. You know, you're driving along and they turn right where you need to turn right and then get in the lane you need to, and then they turn where you're turning, and I am aware of this in myself and I am working on it because really, what do I care? Where's the fire? I don't need to be anywhere like right this minute. But sometimes I feel like I do because I don't particularly like driving. I just want to get to where I'm going and skip the alone time in my car. I want to get to shopping, get to hanging out, click my heels together and just be there so I can start having fun. Alcohol and spicy foods make me poop, and I like it. It's like, yeah, nice little clearing out of the system. I always feel like I'm being watched all the time. And I've been this way since I was a kid. I don't know if it has something to do with my really religious upbringing, like God's always watching all the time. Or maybe it's like a government paranoid thing, someone is always watching. And oddly, it doesn't bother me. I don't feel paranoid, I don't feel afraid or anything. It's like I just forever live with it and hope I'm somewhat entertaining or interesting and not too boring. If someone or thing is watching me, I can only hope they find me kind of funny. All right. I have ASMR, and I have never told anyone this except for my boyfriend. If you don't know what it is, just look it up. I have had it for as long as I can remember, and I never talked about it or asked anyone about it because it's kind of an odd thing and hard to describe. Since I was little until now, present day, randomly I get the tingles in my head. I never questioned what it was, and I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't fully aware it wasn't a normal thing. Maybe I just thought everyone experiences it. And the way I discovered it was a thing, one time years ago, I was riding in the car with one of my best friends and her boyfriend at the time. We were talking about my videos and YouTube, and he was like, oh, you have a pleasant voice, you should look into doing these videos. And he talked about ASMR and explained that it was this whole thing on the internet, and I was like, oh yeah, that's interesting. But inside I was like, remember what he said, look this up later. And I did. As soon as I got home, I looked it up and I was like, oh my gosh, there wasn't a whole ton of information about it, and even now it's still being discovered and researched. And I think because of that is the reason I kept it very secret, and even now I'm kind of like, ooh, telling it, because no one can really explain why it happens. And I was worried I'd be like, oh, I have ASMR, and then suddenly they discover everyone that has it is a sociopath, or it's connected to something crazy like that. And if that turns out to be the case, I will most likely delete this video at that time. But until then, yeah, I get the tingles. All right, look at that. Confessing, I feel better already. And the last confession for today, I very often fall asleep watching movies. Like, it's rare I don't, and if Quinn watches this, he's gonna be like, hey. But his place, movie theaters, doesn't matter. I'll doze off, and if he asks me, are you falling asleep? I always deny it. No, I'm awake. No, I'm watching. And then I'll be like, I'm having a hard time following. I'm kind of lost. What's happening? He probably thinks I'm the most easily confused person when it comes to movie plots, but really, I was just sleeping. Thank you for joining me for Confessions. I hope you found this video entertaining or interesting. What are some of your confessions? Please share in the comments below. I love that I can just be myself with you guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye!